I don't want to set the world on fire.
And welcome again, everyone, to the next episode of the Foally of Man. I'm Chris. With me here today.
I'm Robert.
And today we're going to be looking at Chapter 19, Betrayal.
Tell me that my friends are lying to me and avoiding me because they don't like my parties and don't want to be my friends anymore.
Okay, your friends are lying to you and avoiding you because they don't want to go to your parties and they don't want to be your friends anymore.
'Tis a shame. Who am I, Pinkie Pie?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
It's from the episode Party of One.
Oh, direct quote from the show.
Yes.
And what season is that?
First.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the first. It's when she goes insane.
I mean, I don't want to start a flame war if you're wrong, because I don't have any
She
skin in this
She
fight.
goes kind of schizophrenically insane and starts talking to inanimate objects.
So, welcome to the Foally of Man. This is a podcast where we delve into the book Fallout Equestria, which is a fan fiction by K-Cat that merges the world of Fallout with My Little Pony in
Insert Winnie here.
grotesque and gratuitous fashion. Chris, as aforementioned, is a brony, and I am not. I'm just a gamer, and I like fan fictions, but I'm not a brony. That's kind of the core of the show.
What kind of backstory do you have with fan fiction? I mean,
I've read some Star Wars fan fictions. I've humorously read some Harry Potter fan fictions.
My Immortal.
I still think that the next one we should do is the Super Smash Brothers fanfic, which is apparently the longest book ever written. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
We'll have to see.
I just want to know about the love story between Kirby and Donkey Kong.
The untold love story.
Donkey Kong really makes Kirby hard.
I'm not even going to go into that. There's no way this is going to go but down. Okay.
Surprisingly, Donkey Kong is a power bottom.
Are we that surprised? Are we? Okay, let's actually get into the chapter this time. Let's get into the chapter.
So, this is chapter 19 in Fallout Equestria.
Yes, last time we left off, our heroes were plummeting downwards and were saved by Calamity.
Yep.
And then saved by another Calamity, which was caused by some grenades detonating some explosive carts.
Yeah.
They fall down, they crash, and then we wake up here.
Yeah, everyone's pretty hurt. Little Pip's in a bad way. I mean, this whole chapter, if you could sum it up in one way, other than the term betrayal, which is really, as far as I'm concerned, a small element of it, this is the addiction chapter.
Yeah,
she
starts out talking about the addiction and explaining her own understanding that, yeah, she is kind of getting worse, but there's stuff to do, and she's got to do it.
As I briefly described it to you before the beginning of the episode, this is really kind of this is the Requiem for a Dream meets My Little Pony. We see
what a pleasant thought.
We see little Pip in the throes of her addiction and just how bad things can get.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, like, even then, even the book itself, and she explains, this isn't just the worst it can get. It can get worse, but you're literally not gaining anything past this point. This is the last time you can use it for any kind of beneficial practice.
Right. Well, everybody is badly injured, but Little Pip worst so, because Little Pip has a piece of rebar straight through her leg.
You can't really go anywhere when you do that.
No, not particularly. And in fact, Little Pip is like, well, why can't you just use one of your healing spells or bandages? And it's like, I don't want it. You can't heal around the rebar.
Well, it will. It'll heal the rebar into you.
Yes. In a grotesque version of The Fly, essentially.
Yeah. They explained this. I think we actually touched on this in a previous episode where I was describing in other fics, and I think they may do this later on, but in other fics as well, to explain when you break a bone, you actually have to set the bone before you actually take the healing potion. If you just take a healing potion, the bone will heal at whatever angle it currently resides at, which can
is bad.
Permanently cripple you.
That's very bad. Also, Little Pip uses a memory orb to kind of escape the pain.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it just, let's go in. In the memory orb, we find...
it's Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle, right?
Yeah, Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle. Their communication between them is actually being intercepted by a nefarious but hidden third party.
Now, what is Apple Bloom's relation to Applejack?
Younger sister.
Younger sister. Okay, so in this timeline, Applejack has an older brother.
Yeah.
Big Macintosh, and Apple Bloom.
No, that's
younger
from the
sister.
show, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to make sure everything's checked in line. Okay. All right.
They had parents at one point. I think one of the most recent episodes touches on it, but again, I haven't been paying attention to the 6th season, so I can't tell you anything about what's going on.
Be prepared for more comments telling you that you need to watch the 6th season.
It begins.
But Chris, you love this. Why aren't you watching it? I told you, he's the hipster of Fallout Equestria. You were into it before everybody else thought it was cool. Oh, the shoe's on the other foot. Look at who doesn't like being called a hipster.
Shoe is on the other hoof.
All right, it's your job to deliver the pony puns.
Get it right.
Get it right, or get out of here.
Okay, so we actually hear in the memory orb some important information. Applejack has been injured in some way, and some people are rumoring that it may be a failed assassination attempt against her, as well.
Rainbow Dash accuses Fluttershy
of treason, high treason against the Emperor,
which means something. Who's Fluttershy?
It's the one that Velvet Remedy really likes.
Okay.
Remember, she's the Ministry of Peace person who's like, we must do better.
Ah, yes. The Minister of Peace.
Yes.
Administering peace, one assassination at a time.
It's actually shortened to Mini Peace.
So, let's see here. What happens next? Then we have a conversation with the Griffins that were trapped at the top of the tower from the last chapter.
Yeah, they try to gift their AA gun over to Little Pip and say, "Here, you can use this." She's like, I can."
Well, they even say, "Well, we can mount it to Steelhoof."
Well, Calamity's like, "I can mount it on him backwards." It's like, no, we're not giving Steelhooves.
Well, it's like Steelhooves already has 2 very powerful, very damaging weapons. Nothing that can be used in close quarters. Do we really want to give him a 3rd high firepower option?
We're going to put a flat cannon on his ass. Ain't going to work.
Yeah.
So there's that. She says, no. We're going to go. You just got to hang with us, and we'll get you something. We'll make it even by the end of the week.
And then we have an interesting interaction with Watcher again.
Where she starts questioning. She's like, "Watcher, are you watching us a little more than you should?"
Well, what Little Pip says is that originally when I talked to you, you'd just disappear, you'd fizzle and be gone, and now here you are now. What are you still listening to me? And then the fizzle pop and Watcher stops.
yeah, It's almost like maybe he's spying a little more than he should.
Since we already mentioned it in the show, I guess this was about 7
Insert
episodes
the police
ago.
here.
I have changed who I think Watcher is, but I'm not going to make any guesses. We'll just find out when we find out.
Go ahead and tell him what you told me.
Well, but every episode I could make another guess. I could just keep guessing characters. At this point, based on the motivations, the character type of observing and watching and mending and taking care of, I have a strong feeling that it's Twilight Sparkle. I had a little bit of an inkling early on, but again, I just assumed that it's somebody important from the show.
There isn't
I have a feeling it's going to be an important reveal. If it's somebody we've never met before, it has less of a...
Yeah, there was an episode from the show where, I think it was the 2nd season, I could be very wrong, where... she gets a message from the future telling her whatever she does, don't pop. And so she spends the entire episode like, we've got to find out what's going on. We have to monitor everything. And she has like these telescopes automatically monitoring all activity. And it's like...
kind of like she did in Fallout Equestria. Although I have come from the future to close the pool.
Yes.
But Watcher asks Little Pip specifically to retrieve an item. Is it what was it called? The Black Opal?
Black Opal.
It's a Black Opal,
which is a Recollector, which is a device,
a magical tiara that the wearer is able to extract their own memories.
As well, it's used for memory extraction, but it also allows non-unicorns to view memory orbs.
Gotcha.
Whereas before, only unicorns could use it.
I guess I hadn't realized that.
It does explain that a bit.
Okay, I guess that's just something
it kind of goes both ways, where it takes and it also gives. Whereas before, I think it was very specifically you had to have a unicorn.
Another issue we're dealing with is everyone has been drastically over-irradiated with their fight with the alicorns.
Oh, yeah.
Just intensely so. And 6 people are having to share the Radaway that would really only take care of one. Yeah. And so they're all feeling intense radiation sickness, but little Pip, on top of already having drug withdrawal, is now having intense, realizing that she's very, very sick.
Yeah. Going so far as to say that her headaches are actually making her cry. Like she's weeping from the pain it's causing.
Yeah. Well, and so then the next thing, one of the things I love is little Pip makes a comment as they have been traveling through the wasteland, particularly in Manhattan, that why the hell are there caps in every broken desk, lunch pail, mailbox, hidden in the most shoe boxes, random of places, because people didn't collect caps, really, before, the beginning of time. And or rather before the Balefire bomb was dropped. And now here little Pip is like, it makes no sense. What, to leave 3 caps for somebody to maybe buy a sandwich?
Oh, look, a desk in the urban wilderness. Let's put some caps in there. Not much, just enough to buy a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's see.
Which I love. That's
I know
kind
who
of
can answer that, Todd Howard.
Yeah, it's a nice way for K-Cat to poke fun at the trope in Fallout that you'll just find this random crap everywhere.
Good thing it was written before Fallout 4, because then the statement would be about silverware.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, why is there silverware in here?
Why
is there one silver fork in a safe?
One spoon in a safe?
Well, this doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, it's a trope that we accept in video games, that it doesn't have to have a logical purpose to it. And so it would be funny, of course, that it carries over in literature.
Because half of the time, half of you wants to go, well, this makes no sense, and half of you goes, ooh, items.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to suspend your disbelief because, ooh, loot.
Yeah, you actually get something out of it.
So there's also, we see a Balefire Phoenix fighting a Bloodwing.
Yeah, Bloodwings.
Bloodwings, yeah. So it's interesting to see other creatures of the wasteland
going at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, nature's cruel.
Yeah,
fair. Survival of the fittest.
But they decide to intervene when the Balefire Phoenix falls into a book van Velvet Remedy takes the zebra rifle from Pip and lights the book van on fire.
Yeah.
Which saves the Balefire Phoenix because it regrows in fire.
But little Pip thinks, maybe that was the van that was delivering books to Twilight Sparkle.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there could have been some important information in there.
That van's name? Alexandria.
Wow. What do you know? Fitting. They should have known. Why did they name that van Alexandria?
Because Alexandria didn't exist in the Pony universe until now.
And then what we get into the meat of it is little Pip lets slip her secret plan to save Monterey Jack.
Because they're like, why the hell are you saving this guy?
Why are you doing that? He's
kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's the son of a bitch. But little Pip is like, but we need to do this, and
we're saving the children.
Right.
That's what her
motivation
the
children,
is.
Of course, yes, the children. Will somebody please think of the children?
Little Pip is.
Yeah, of course, little Pip is, certainly not thinking of drugs or homage or anything else.
Homage.
Omelette du homage. But Velvet Remedy convinces Pip, well, if we're going to do that, you at least need to rebuild your syringe gun.
Yeah, you got to do that because her entire plan kind of, hinges on her having the syringe gun.
Right, well, being able to put creatures to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of the plan was to put Monterey Jack to sleep.
Yeah, she's going to put him to sleep.
I mean, it's a suicide mission. None of it makes any damn sense. So Velvet Remedy...
The entire time, she's just playing Hogan's Heroes in her own mind.
Yeah, Velvet Remedy uses the gun against Little Pip and...
Yeah.
Puts her to sleep.
It's like, oh, Little Pip, what's that?
And finally, the foreshadowing of helping Little Pip with her chem addiction is executed.
Yes. And so, she wakes up, first in the cart, in an elevator, going, ow, goes back to sleep, and then wakes up halfway through the treatment and kind of hearing Velvet Remedy and Calamity bickering back and forth about...
Would you say nickering back and forth?
True. I would say that.
True. The shoe is on the other hoof.
But about, how it needed to be done, and Calamity's like, it didn't need to be done like this. You didn't have to actually
he
shoot
said,
her.
it didn't need to be done like this.
I mean, heck, he already shot her. Now she shot her. All we're waiting for is technically, Steelhooves almost shot her.
Yeah. Well, Little Pip has some reason to have some trust issues. Why does everyone I trust shoot me? Why do my friends shoot me? Well, maybe because you're a Kim-addicted whore.
And she's a virgin, so not really a whore. She's just kind of a...
Oh, she'll save anybody. Anybody in the wasteland. She'll just help. She'll help anyone.
Okay.
But then we meet Dr. Helpenhoof, not to be confused with Dr. Scratch and Sniff.
No.
And Little Pip, of course, being a drug-addled fool, makes fun of Helpenhoof for his name.
You got a stupid name.
And he's like, yeah, I changed my name to Helpenhoof when I opened this medical practice.
After the Helping Hoof medical system. And she's like,
you're a goody two-shoes.
Yeah, she's really bitter. Pip's kind of a jerk during this sequence. You can kind of tell. I mean, not that she shouldn't be. Through all the things she's been through, and the fact that everyone, in her mind, the retaliation and response to her helping and saving everyone was for them to immediately stab her in the back.
Yeah.
Very telling. But, yeah. So she talks to Helping Hoof. Helping Hoof explains the mechanics of how her addiction works. This is kind of an exposition dump a little bit.
That the Party Time Mentats are the most addictive of all Kims, even worse than regular Mentats. That it is made from a crushed herb from Zebralands.
Yeah.
And that what he's done in his treatment will allow her to think clearer than she ever did on the drugs.
Yeah,
back to her original levels.
Removes the chemical addiction and the withdrawal
but not
symptoms.
the behavioral dependence.
Yeah, any type of psychological dependence is still going to be there.
Well, and he says, well, you're free to go. You can go and use again, and if your friends are as good as they seem to be, you'll be back within 24 hours. I can make a small mint off of you.
Yeah. But no. So anyway, she then meets back up with Velvet, who's all like, I'm sorry. And Little Pip's like, you better be.
Yeah, those children will be homeless.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, they find out that the kids without their parent would be kicked out of the tower. And so Little Pip hatches a plan to call in that favor to Blackwings. And essentially
hatches a plan to Griffins?
Hatches a plan. Turkeys. And sends the Griffins to deliver the children to Shattered Hoof. That's the plan. Yeah, to Gaudina. What's her last name?
Grimfeathers.
Grimfeathers. I always want to say Grimsbeak for some reason. But anyways, which by the way, fucking awesome. What cool life. Oh, yeah, I'm bummed my dad died, but now I get to go live with the band of mercenaries.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yep.
I mean, I guess it would be dangerous, but if you think about what could have potentially happened in Tenpony Tower,
yeah, I don't see
it's
the
a better
kind of
place
life,
to be.
I really don't understand the kind of life they would have.
Is there a better defended place than a mercenary camp, other than of course like a Steel Ranger camp?
Terrifying,
right?
Yeah. No, there is one more place, and that is the Enclave, because they're technically free of radiation.
Oh, you're talking about the
Pegasi Enclave.
The Pegasi in the clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not Pegasi. Monterey Jack was an Earth pony.
I know. And you also realize, once Monterey Jack had passed away or can no longer manage the shop, if they didn't pick it up, then they would be kicked out anyway.
Now, that's a question. That's an interesting question about ponies and crossbreeding. If a Pegasus and an Earth pony have a foal, does it take on the traits of the Pegasi? Does it take on the traits of the Earth pony? Is it a toss-up? Is it sexually dominant? What is it?
If Mr. Cakes and Mrs. Cakes' relationship was completely, totally on the level, and Mrs. Cakes was not a whore, and Mr. Cakes was not cuckolded, then it can actually take different shapes based on lineage. It can actually take pretty random elements. There's a scene from one of the episodes where they give birth to a unicorn and a Pegasus, and they're both Earth ponies. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Cake, the pony, says, yeah, her great aunt was a unicorn, and her cousin is a Pegasus. And then he goes, like, I really hope that's what's happening, and these people don't look like our milkman.
Oh my gosh. Interesting. Now I know in the world, alicorns are wings and horns.
Yes.
But what if you had a Pegasi and a unicorn mate? Does it have the potential to adopt the traits of both parents?
This is neither... Okay, so this has been explained in the show long after the fact, and I don't consider it canon as if Star Wars was to suddenly say that the Jedi are actually, they actually give birth through their anus. I mean...
E.g. midichlorians?
Yes, I don't believe... I ignore midichlorians as much as I ignore what the show said about alicorns. Regardless, otherwise it's not explained.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's kind of important to not be explained because there's a nebulous affair, because the princesses, the ruling gods of the world, are alicorns.
Yes.
So if you start...
Literally, your gods walk amongst you.
Yeah, if you start hand-waving the alicorn thing away, like, it's just, it's a thing. It's just whatever. It's like, well, then what power do they have? What true power do they wield? And it's like, oh, wait, they don't. They're literally just put up on pedestals for no reason other than some, I guess, meritocracy, but not really. Okay, they can raise the sun and the moon, but it seems like magic is boundless in some capacity, so I'm sure you could find somebody who can do way more interesting shit than that.
Seems like a heavy burden to raise the sun and the moon.
Yes.
Did they, drag it? I'm asking a lot of stuff that's not in Fallout Equestria, so we'll just move on. Little Pip really gets upset. Well, actually, we have a reveal with Steel Hooves, a little bit of an emotional opening up to Little Pip, albeit briefly.
Mm-hmm.
But then Little Pip has a moment of crisis when she thinks that... actually, let me clarify. Little Pip... Steel Hooves refers to Little Pip as one of the two noblest mayors he's ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And you, just like the other one before, will realize that I'm not capable, or I lack that.
You make me wish that I was a
better pony. Yeah, I was that better pony.
You make me wish I was a better pony.
Don't you know? So anyway, but Little Pip suddenly realizes that, we didn't even reveal. We totally skipped over the fact about Tenpony Tower being over a bunch of locked away ghouls.
Oh, yeah.
Feral ghouls.
Oh, yeah.
Zombies in this world.
The Tenpenny Tower from Fallout 3 had a subline where...
It's the exact
where if
same.
You actually let the ghouls in, then they will overrun the area with ghouls.
It's really an awful mission because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's bad karma either way.
But the funny part is it's very lifelike in that regard, where you're like, oh, you're screwed either way. This is very, very realistic.
Yeah. But originally, the mercenaries were hired by... Grimstar, that's right. To hatch that plan and release the feral ghouls. But what winds up happening is Little Pip, for whatever reason, thinks that Steel Hooves would release the ghouls into Tenpony Tower.
Well, his last
out
statement
of revenge.
you're about to find out that I'm not a good pony. It's like, what?
Well, and what happens is Little Pip runs down there in her very, very injured state, very weak state, and sees Steel Hooves lifting a hoof to the door, to the access panel. And Little Pip is like, don't do it. Don't let him in here. And he's like, did you really think that I would release a horde of feral ghouls to destroy and murder all the good ponies in this tower? And he's like, you don't know me at all.
Yeah, just burn.
And Little Pip's thinking like, well, I don't know you. I should trust my friends more. And then, of course, we see on the other side of the glass Grimstar getting eaten alive. So
wait, you are an asshole.
No, but I think that's the thing that I think is so funny is that Little Pip would for one moment think that he would do that. Like what he wound up doing is exactly what you'd expect Steel Hooves to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's justice. He's how would you say he's lawful good?
Yeah, I would say lawful.
So if we're talking about like D&D, I'd say he's got to actually. Ooh, that'd be a fun conversation. Let's come back to that. Let's put a pin in that. We'll come back to that later about character types and the different characters. So I think we've pretty much got all that out. All right, well then you want to hop into it? If we were going to talk about the morality
Yeah.
of characters. So, all right, we got lawful good from Steelhooves.
Mm-hmm.
Calamity is clearly chaotic good.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter what happens as long as the good comes out of it.
Velvet Remedy, I would say, is neutral good.
Neutral good or lawful neutral?
Her, I don't see her as particularly lawful. She was helping raiders.
Well, that's lawful neutral. She holds herself to a certain strict adherence of guidelines.
So we've got chaos, lawful. Hold on a second. Pull out our manual.
I say that the reason that Velvet Remedy is lawful good is because she adheres to a certain specific series of code, i.e. the Fluttershy Code of Honor.
But she's not willing to do what Steelhooves is.
No.
That's what I mean. That's where we need a clarification. All right, your alignments: lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, neutral, chaotic neutral. That's why I think she's lawful neutral.
Could be. I just want to say lawful neutral.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have homage, which is homage would be neutral good.
Yeah. Well, I was going to actually say I think Little Pip is neutral good.
Yeah.
Because Little Pip isn't lawful at all.
No.
I mean, I would say Little Pip.
Well, would you say neutral or would you say chaotic good?
I wouldn't say chaotic good. There's not chaos. There's purpose. Calamity's chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, Calamity's just all across the board.
I know, but Calamity throws a wrench into it because if you start going by that guidelines,
and thus
Calamity's so far out there that everything else is neutral.
Thus far, what we have here is that, Watcher is like, neutral.
Yeah, just neutral.
Pure neutral.
Yeah.
Because unless Little Pip pushes Watcher, Watcher has no interest in getting involved in anything if it doesn't have to.
Yeah, he just straight up not doing it. Yeah, you have that. You have, let me think if there's anybody else. Monterey Jack. Would self-interest just be neutral evil?
Yeah, I don't see that's the thing. So the evil characters are the villains. So like Dead Eyes, you got to think about Dead Eyes. I would say he would be like neutral evil.
Yeah.
Or would you wouldn't describe him as chaotic evil?
Oh no. Dead Eyes had purpose and he was following guidelines. So
actually, if he was following orders, he'd be lawful evil.
He can be either.
Yeah.
Because he's not following orders.
I don't know. We need to get out some dice and roll this. We got to figure this. All right. I think that is more than enough of that. Let's move on to the pony pun of the week. All right, Christopher, are you ready for the pony pun of the week?
Like I never have been before.
Well, this is actually one that comes to you straight from me. I came up with this one earlier this week, and it's a bit crass, so be prepared. The pony pun of the week is Cy-Clops.
As in the one-eyed monster.
Wrestling with the one-eyed monster. Cy-Clops. Is he tackling the Cy-Clops?
A fantasy universe, one-eyed monster, and it has Clop in the title. I mean, what more do you want?
Hey, it's not the first time masturbation has come up in this story.
Not at all.
I'm not too edgy for this story, god damn it.
Especially not for next chapter.
That is an interesting thing. So, are there Cy-Clops in the My Little Pony universe?
No.
Not yet. Not yet. All right. How about we get into a listener question?
I take it back.
Oh.
There was one.
There was one?
There was one.
Which season? Which episode?
It was season 5. It was the episode where they went to the Griffin lands, Griffinstone, and there was a Cy-Clops satyr. A giant Cy-Clops satyr.
Like from Greek mythology.
Yep.
So there you go. There's a Cy-Clops.
Yep. There was one. I just remembered that.
Talk about a monster mash. All right. Listener question for this week is straight from Almanac Pony. Almanac Pony says, as for my question for this week, Robert, don't you know, who is your favorite character, and what is one thing you'd love to know about them personally? A mystery or just a personal question? Something that you would feel would be interesting to know, don't you know? Since this is to me, the ball's in Robert's court. I've told you before, my prejudice is I love the Brotherhood of Steel, so I think Steel Hooves is really interesting. He's lived for 200 years, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what we're led to believe. He's got to have stories to tell. His motivations are his own, and it's interesting for him to be so no nonsense after all this time. So I would love to know more about him, and a specific question about him. We already know that he had a great love. I guess my question would be, what's been his greatest challenge besides being a ghoul?
I believe we get into that later.
Interesting.
Much
Cool.
later.
So that is my answer. Thank you for your question, Almanac Pony. Is that all that? Yep, one question this week. So, of course, we love your questions, and we're still looking for suggestions for new segments on the show. Again, we apologize for the delay last week. I feel like we have a section in every episode for this now. But mercifully, due to Chris's brilliance, he was able to save our files. Our SD reader was
broken.
Yeah, malfunctioning, essentially.
And corrupted the file system.
It corrupted the files. But we were able to retrieve the files. And, I think last week was probably one of our best episodes ever. I loved the comment.
Sorry for the disappointment this time.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's all downhill from here, actually. I love the comment about our voices. I know that's something you and I have always enjoyed doing. So if you like it, we'll continue doing it. We'll keep mixing it up.
As long as we don't start infringing on trademarks.
Because the mouse knows how to sue.
All I just want you to know is that I've been having a little bit of drink, and I may be a little bit more than I have been before.
Oh, man, he's getting tripsy. So, of course, you don't have it in the show notes here, but you can, of course, find us at Crisco Brand Biscuits on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're already there. Hi. Good to see you. Those of you listening can't see me waving, but that's fine. But those of you listening, probably don't want to see me since I'm nude, from the waist down, to accentuate how naked I am.
He's actually naked from the waist up. All he's done is actually dye his various body hairs.
Yeah, into a Vault Dweller
woven
suit.
them.
It's actually a full body tattoo that looks just like a Vault Dweller suit.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find us on Libsyn at thefollyofman.libsyn.com. You can also find us, of course, on the Google Play Store and the iTunes for our podcast. Where else? On Twitter at CriscoCast. Please follow us there. And you can find our Facebook group, Crisco Industries, which is the original page for our page. You'll never see Chris there, but I do post on there. And, of course, if y'all like it and follow it, we'll try and have more of the content posted there. However you like to engage with the show, we want to make sure we have some
If you are
presence
interested,
there.
we will keep kind of news updates on the Twitter, so if we do have some kind of lateness, then that's where we'll mostly post it. I'll try to also keep up to date on a few other platforms. But
well, and truth be told,
that's
we
the best way.
can shoot a short little video on our phone and upload it directly to YouTube. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to stay up long, just the week of as a quick announcement.
Yeah, but regardless, it's just that's an easy way to keep in touch, just in case.
But once again, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week as we dive into Chapter 20.
Lovely.
So, for Chris, I'm Robert. Thanks for paying attention this week to the Folly of Man.
It's all over, but the cry